Okay, so basically, what I've just I am in the process of, I don't know where this is going to go. Um, right now, I'm kind of planning and I'm writing because I received a phone call on tonight, a very, very important phone call in which I had to provide a timeline of events. And when you're talking from off of the top of your head about a timeline and a series of events, I can only imagine. Now, this is not to plug in the impeachment trial or anything that's going on, but I can only imagine the team of people. First of all, I forgot how many are on President Trump's team, but then you have, I guess, within each of those different attorneys, they have to compile this timeline of events. Why did A happen? When did A happen? Why did A happen? What are the facts? You have to start from the beginning until the end. So I'm centering this around a little bit on that. That's a whole nother level, a whole nother level. And so I thought about this today, not only because today is supposed to be, a day of celebration for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but it's also a little bit of my own frustration with not just Black people, but with just, now don't get me wrong, I think that we should celebrate, our ancestors, especially those who stood for human rights, any kind of, positive causes, and, celebrate them in a very, very, special way. However, I think that there comes a time when those ideas that those individuals were talking about, if you're celebrating it, then why aren't you living it? So if you tell me that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had a dream that one day Black children and white children and all different races and colors and creeds and genders, if we could bond together and work together in sisterly and brotherly love, maybe there are some places now, I guess, where they're feeling that. So what I've done just now is I'm talking about, well, let's just say I'm not feeling that. And I had something very, very, a dream that happened in my life because I believed in the things that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was talking about, that when I came back to my community, that I wanted to give back. I had a dream of wanting to start, and what I wrote was, my dream was to start a Little League basketball program in my community. And because I played basketball and I, had come back, and to see the youth not being as involved as as I felt they should be, I felt like, God, if you could just give me, give me a sign, give me the strength, give me the confidence, and it came. And what I wrote was, and this is it's a little rough, but it says, a dream. The title, Crystal's dream through God, and the dream, Crystal's dream through God, and the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. dream. Now, whether I keep that for a title, I don't know, but that's kind of like what's kind of in my head now. It's kind of like what's kind of driving me to write this and to put it down on paper, to provide a timeline of events, so that whatever God says is going to be, is going to be. So, without further ado, it says, a dream that I had and I asked God to help me with is to provide a need for the children in my community. Now, this was in 2015, and somehow a friend and I, Rachel Michael, started to discuss the idea because at the time her children were in the Estill school system, and she also played basketball. Let me tell you, the girl was a beast. Just like all those Michael girls, they are just a beast. And but not only are they a beast, but they have a mother that is That's, I believe God put all of us on this earth for a purpose, but a mother that is so motherly and godlike, and you can see it being resonated through her children. That anyway, she and I had this discussion, and as I began pondering the idea, I began to question God, because it was a dream that I had in my head. And at the time, you just kind of have these dreams, and you're just thinking, oh man, I dream, maybe one day I'll be able to do this. One day I'll be able to do this. And the list goes on, and none of them really comes to fruition unless obviously if you don't act upon it. And I'll be honest and say that I don't know whether or not I was ready to act upon it until she had come into my life, until I felt through her, God, okay, all right, you're giving me this person to talk to, because I know that now I don't have to go through this alone. I know that I don't have to go through this alone. That's what I felt at the time. And so the next sentence. Why did I do that? Because I was always taught. And I also believed that I should never, question God, even though I had never met God. Right? Nevertheless, the seed was planted, and my dream through God would become a reality. Okay, so now to get the program started, I had no idea about what I was doing about getting a Little League program, started. I had attended, Little League sporting events, and just seeing how crazy it can all be, not only with parents, getting a little cray-cray, but, coaches. But it also, too, you seeing the little kids on the court, and them, building their skills, building teamwork, building their confidence, because that's what sports had done for me. So anyway, to get the program started, like a Little League program was going to be, I knew, well, in my mind, I knew it had to be. It was no easy feat. And as I conducted my research about 501, is it 501c or 501(c)(3)s, and all of these different nonprofit elements that you had to go through in order to get a program like this started, and insurance, I thought to myself, oh no, this is first of all, I don't have the money. Second of all, it takes so much time in a community and a population, and geographically where this community is located at the time. It was just like, oh my God, I don't even see how this how can this, Lord God, how can this work? So and also too, I had a lot on my plate, with the Army obligations, home life, work, and trying to run a business. And I really was just feeling hopeless and discouraged. And I did have people that kept telling me, hey, you can do it, it's for you, for the kids. And I have to honestly say, if I didn't work in the school system at that time, I don't know if I would have done it. But the one thing about kids is that I worked at the school, and so I would see them every day, and they would say, Miss Wooding, when are we going to start playing basketball? Or even the parents, Crystal, when are we going to get it started? And I said, we're working on it. We're working on it. We're working on it. And then all the time I'm thinking to myself, well, who is we? You know who we was? Me and God. We working on it. Oh God, reflecting back on those times, it was just kind of like, it really was just me and God. All right, so first I would need to, there are a lot of things that I would need to do. I would need to get the money in order to buy basketballs and cones and whistles. It's like a whole list of things that I came out of my pocket, like almost easily. I remember almost $500 at least to kind of get the amount of balls that I needed, and then for the little kids, because we were working with different ages, you got the little balls, which were I think blue, and then you got the middle balls, which were green, and then you got the regular balls, and then you got the balls that some people say, well, they're inside balls, indoor. It was just crazy, but I didn't care. I trusted and had faith in God that I was going to make this happen. So what I did was save my drill money And that's, as if reservists are not struggling as it is. Took my own money and invested into this program that I believe, I could make work. Um, some of the resources I would honestly say, even though I solicited and got, some resources from some other coaches, we did get a few basketballs, so I was very grateful, for that. And I believe, the athletic director, kind of gave us some resources. So we had a little bit, but then it was time to get the facility. And as we started to generate more interest, we were able to lock in the facility. And the facility was run down. I'm talking, you wouldn't want really your kids in this facility, but we made it work. And then it got to be where we had to have insurance for each child. And I was just thinking to myself, okay, well, God, dog, I already did the 501, I already, did the nonprofit application. Okay, so now what else? It just seems like whenever you're done with one thing, you better believe something else is coming, right? But this was major in that, my hands were pretty much tied in terms of if I could not have insurance for all of the children that were enrolled, and I believe the first year it had to been like 80 something, 80 maybe 80 to 90 something kids, and I had to have insurance for each of them, which is very totally understandable. For liability, in case the child gets hurt, and at the time I couldn't see it because I couldn't see why I had to do this because most parents have some kind of insurance for their child through the school. And for years this community had another Little League program, and they utilized public resources, and never, from my understanding, what I was told by the director of that program, and is that they never had to have insurance. And so I said, okay, well, Lord, I guess it's just my luck. It's just my luck. Now I've got to have this insurance. I said, okay, all right, well, we've come this far. We've at this time we're kind of like conducting signups, and I got the application for the nonprofit. Okay, all right, how do I get insurance? So I'm searching around everywhere to get this insurance for the kids, and Lord have mercy, it just didn't seem like it wanted. It wasn't about to happen. It was just going to take some miracles. It's going to take some more prayer. So finally, because no surrounding insurance company. First of all, they were so expensive, and then I had to think about, okay, well, where is that money going to come from? Now I got to fundraise again. I needed something immediate, especially kind of like once you get the ball rolling. You have to really just can't keep putting it off. So finally, I'm not sure who it was that told me about the AAU program, and that you could join their club, and that you could get insurance for these kids. And I did all of that with my own money and this I think it's like $300 or something to start for the club membership, and then it's like $18 per child. But then now it's $18 per child, and then now you've got to have the children. You're already living in an impoverished, is that right? An impoverished community. So I'm asking them to pay, I think it was like $20 to $25, which I didn't think was a lot, because I'm thinking, okay, well, you got the $18 for the insurance, but then you have to get, I think to start, we didn't have jerseys for the little kids. I had to work through the local T-shirt, guy here in my town, and we started out with little T-shirts, which, just to even get that part going, coming up with just a nice plain little design, that, because when you're living in an impoverished community where parents are already strapped for money, and they're working hard every day, parents really wanted to kind of see, I guess, where this money was coming from. And I'm not gonna lie, I was stretched beyond belief. And all I could say was that it's for the insurance and for them to get their T-shirts, knowing full well that well, as I was discovering, it was going to be way over budget, or way over the amount. But I didn't care. I said, God, well, you've gotten me this far, so this is what we're going to do. My little eraser came off of there. I'll pick it up later. All right. So that's part one. That's phase one, and I kind of wanted to stop there, because I'm supposed to be providing a timeline, of something, in order to support a very, very strong argument, and I want to make sure that my facts, are together. I want to make sure that anyone who's reading this, whether this has to be, just for, regular viewing, or anybody who's wanting to start a little league program, on any sport, that this is a lesson, or tool, of some tips, and advice that I can share with you, and let's just share it together, so that, we can, live out these dreams, that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., preached. And because I'm a firm believer in that if we're going to celebrate something or someone, then, I got to be the change that I want to see. I believe that because he had that dream, he wanted to see, he was out there marching, protesting, getting locked up. But I can't honestly say that that's what we're doing as a people, even now, no matter what cause that you're standing behind. So, but I found myself in 2019 in a situation having to defend myself for a dream, for something that I believed in. And it was because of my own lackadaisicalness that, and I think that there are other factors too, but there's something very traumatic that happened to me that almost tried to destroy, my soul and my spirit. And I'm a survivor of coming through something like this. And I hope that I can be, a beacon of light, or whatever those terms are, a beacon of light for somebody else. And that, it'll be a support system for anybody else, that if you're going through something like this, or if you find yourself in a situation like this, kind of like, what do you do? And of course, there have been some lessons learned, throughout this whole process. But this is the first part. It's about 30-minute video. If you can share your thoughts, about Little League sports, nonprofit organizations, working with the community and relationships, working with coaches, just all of that, just comment down below, and subscribe to this video. My name is Crystal. The channel is called Crystal Brightstone Vlogs, and I pretty much just vlog about any and everything that I feel that is, important to me. So I am very interested in sharing with you everything, depending on the topic. Right now is this, the dream. So what is your dream? What is your dream, and are you making it come true in 2020? All right, so if you like this video, like, comment, please subscribe, and until next time, to be continued. Bye.